All right, family Black Power. We're in the house. There's another exquisite lesson from the general about to pop off. Y'all know what time it is. KingSeti.com online marketplace. Let me get that in there now. We got to do this right. We can't do it the wrong way. We got to do it the right way. That's right, KingSeti.com online marketplace, official General Seti DVD lectures, the classics, t-shirts and hoodies. Got them for the kings, got them for the queens. African and Kemetic jewelry for the family, for the royal, divine African family. Got that African and Kemetic jewelry. We got holistic tonics and remedies, and you need it for one of them pots jump on your ass, and you need it. You know what I'm saying? And so you get on over there and get you something to, strengthen your immune system and in your body. And also we got home decor for the African family trying to transform their beautiful African home into the African temple that they always wanted. We got some for the living room, the dining room. We got some for every room in the house. So family, get on over there and check me out. Y'all know what time it is. Ring the alarm. Dropping bombs on GeneralSeti.com. That's right. The official and complete Seti website. Over 800 videos and more coming. Lectures, too raw for YouTube. Too raw for YouTube. The Making of the White Man series. I know y'all want that. As y'all see right there, Rise of the Neanderthals. We got all the debates. All world religions, ancient Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Black power politics, economics, the Black Woman is God series, and so much more. All that behind the scene footage, that gas, global African supremacy that you need. Get on over there to GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, and start binging on that wisdom. You feel me? We got, coming up on Sunday, June 19th, the next live stream up, the three wicked sons of Abraham. Got to show out. Got to show out, family. The three wicked sons of Abraham, and I know that gonna hurt, because, a vast amount of you niggas is either one or the other. Either one or the other. Either you're down with Yahweh. You ain't down with Yahweh, you're down with old Serapis Jesus, or the other Serapis, Muhammad Serapis. Whichever Serapis you down with, it's gonna be a hurtful day for you. You know what I'm saying? So you need to come on over there. The link is right there in the chat room. You can hit that link, boom. Gonna take you right through a portal. You get your ticket and expect, that no one could do it better. I see niggas out there after 300 years of being on the earth, they want to come and try to do what I do. You cannot do what I do. You see what I'm saying? All you're doing is rehashing shit, and then you ain't cracking the necessary, heads you need to crack. And so I got a hit list throughout all those three religions. Matter of fact, let me get it in there. Well, you know what? That's all right. It's down there. The three wicked sons of Abraham. Hit that link. You know what I'm saying? And on June 19th, have your ass in the place, because it's most definitely going to be smoking. You feel me? And then my Patreon. Ring the alarm. General Seti, keep it popping on Patreon. You feel me? Keep it popping on Patreon. Of course, I just dropped, what did I drop on Patreon? Well, I know I did the Origins of the Kemetic Devil. No, I did that one. And the Black Woman is God that I just did is also on my Patreon. You see, very powerful lecture. You see, very powerful lecture. Unlike what you see on YouTube. On YouTube, I speak, to the public. You know what I'm saying? I'm back and forth, where, on the lecture, it's just straight information. You see what I'm saying? So within 2 hours, which we usually do 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours, Man, I didn't drop damn near, you know what I'm saying, 4 years worth, you know, damn near a PhD. You understand? A PhD can go all goddamn 8 years, and the motherfucker won't even touch damn near, you know, 95% of what I'm dropping. So you know what I'm saying? So is that power on my Patreon? The last couple ones that I dropped, you know what I'm saying? How Zeus Amon became the comedic devil, right there. They took the cut version off of YouTube. So if they took the cut version off, y'all already know what the uncut version land like. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to put the warning sign up. Warning, warning. Don't come in there slipping. Don't come in there slipping, because you might get woke up with the truth, and I'm talking about the raw truth. And so today, make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels: Sara, Suten, Seti, General Seti, and King Seti. Rock that notification bell. Give the video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share it with your family. Today we're dealing with how the story of Abraham destroys Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Let's get on. Let's jump right on into that. I seen niggas just shaking in their boots. I know so many of you niggas out there love Abraham, love him. Another Santa Claus that you niggas love. You know what I'm saying? Say Abraham is the father of nations. A fictional character is the father of nations. You niggas got a Semitic language named after Shem, a fictional character. How the hell you gonna name languages and shit after a man that never existed? You understand what I'm saying? They had damn motherfucker to prove it. You see? And so they cannot prove it. And so the thing is, there's a lot of occultism that's wrapped up in religion. A hidden message that reveals the origin of all that which you read. You think some goddamn vagabond goat herders, motherfucker can't even write, and then you ascribe these goat herders a book. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is how you know that they lying. You know, because you know goddamn goat herders is illiterate. Ain't got no goddamn books, don't know how to write, ain't got no language. So when you know a motherfucker is illiterate, just like Muhammad, illiterate, you understand what I'm saying? And then they ascribe an illiterate motherfucker with a book, and he say, "Oh, this is the book of Muhammad, or this is the book of Abraham." Say, how the fuck you get a book? You know what they're gonna say? God gave it to me, because they got to have some unknown, some unknown source in which they gave them the knowledge, because they know damn well that they are illiterate people without a language, without books. You see, and so Abraham, the key to Abraham is that he's the father. He's the father of the so-called Israelite nation. You see, it started with Abraham. Now a lot of them gonna try to start with somebody else. That don't make, which is bullshit. A lot of people say the Hebrews start with apples. Elba. You know what I'm saying? Elba. Who the fuck is Elba? Elba ain't. God made his covenant with Abraham, not with no goddamn Elba. Okay, so they don't start when they started the genealogy, they started with Abraham. Okay, let's deal with it. I believe it's Genesis. I don't have to, you find it and shit, it's there. It says, and we dealing with verse 7. I believe this is Genesis 17. And verse 7, and it says, I will establish my covenant between me and thee. So when we start talking about, they try to extend themselves back further than Abraham. Abraham is who God made the covenant with, not no goddamn elbows. You know what I'm saying? So when they talking about the Hebrew star, ain't no goddamn, the star with Abraham, okay, who supposedly lived around 1675 BC, before the Cro-Magnon. You see what I'm saying? Before the Cro-Magnon. And so we clear about this. And it says, I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee, and their generations, and for an everlasting covenant to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you, thy seed after thee. Every man child among you must be circumcised. Okay, and so now we understand who, and so they start with Abraham, they're gonna jump with into Jacob and and Isaac, and but they start with Abraham, who is the father of all patriarchs in the Bible. He's the father. Okay, he's the father. Well, he's not, but you had Noah is supposedly a patriarch, and so yeah, but there's no covenant with Noah. You see, he had one little covenant, and that covenant had to do with that he would never flood the earth again or destroy the earth again with water. That ain't got nothing to do. This is the genealogy from which they come from. Now, the thing is, when you look at the top. See, the thing is, when you understand the three sons of Noah, you see, let's deal with it now. And we know this is all mythology. Don't fall out your seat and laughing and shit to believe that I could even, we're dealing with this to destroy the myth. You see, because anytime you got churches still on the corner, you still got these niggas out there with their little jumpsuit, with their little show enough jumpsuits on and shit. You know what I'm saying? Potato sacks and shit wrapped around their bodies and shit, talking about they in some ancient Israelite clothing. They ain't never seen a wall where Hebrew look and what they wore. You know what I'm saying? And half of them niggas out there got raggedy Timberlands on, raggedy gym shoes, and they just get these niggas from anywhere and put some goddamn clothes and put a goddamn bandana on their goddamn head. They look like Martin and shit when he was playing that karate nigga. You know what I'm saying? Out there on them goddamn streets with that clown ass shit that they talking about. You know what I'm saying? And so, this is what we got to crush them. You know what I'm saying? We got to crush them because they got a deteriorated philosophy, especially in relationship to Africa. And so as long as they out there teaching that goddamn garbage, we got to be on them niggas. We got to be knocking on their goddamn head every goddamn time. And so I go straight to the ones that we need to go to. And so you got Noah, who supposedly is the second Adam. He's the second Adam, meaning that everybody after the flood supposedly come from Noah. Okay? Supposedly come from Noah. And so Noah supposedly had three sons. Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Okay? And so Japheth is supposed to went into Europe, and then you got Shem, who's supposed to be the so-called Semitic branch, the Arab, the goddamn Jew, and then you got the Hamitic, you understand, that supposedly peopled Africa, okay? And when you go to the Hamitics, Ham, you understand, everybody on that branch is cursed. Wait a minute, let's get into this. I want y'all to understand this shit, man. I don't want y'all to play with this. And so Ham, when you go into Ham, and he supposedly represent Africa. And so, then these so-called Hebrew Israelites. See, these are some silly niggas. You know what I'm saying? They got them definitions where they say Ham is the father of all the dark-skinned races except the Negroes. Now, they take that shit and they plaster that shit, even though they got it from the Caucasoid, and they plaster that shit all over their philosophies and ideology. Anytime the white man say anything averse to anything else, if he say anything else, they on top of the white man. But for some reason, they took this one sentence and they done plastered it like it was handed down by God. And so anything else, if that same white man say that the Hebrews was white, they all over the white man. But they want to take this one sentence that says Ham, the father of the dark races, except the Negro. Okay, and so in their mind, that means that they must be Shem. You know what I'm saying? How dumb can you be? And so that shit not coming from nothing that they conceive, it's coming from the white man. Period. Okay, period. And so when we talking about Ham, he's the father of who? He's father of Cush. Let's blow this up. Let's blow this up so we can. The father of Cush, Punt, Canaan. Wait a minute, and Egypt. You see, well, let me get this out of here. Let me get this out of here so we can see. Okay, you see at the bottom, you see Mizraim, Egypt, Canaan, Punt, Cush. Okay, now when Abraham, he wasn't always Abraham. He was Abram. You see, but when God made his covenant with Abram, he became Abraham. You know what I'm saying? It says, neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, hear me out, but thy name shall be called Abraham. Now, if Shem was so holy, why didn't God name him Abraham? You see, there's something behind that. Almost you say, oh, but no, there's something deeper behind that. Because when we get into, you got to understand, this is some occult shit. This shit, you talking about the Bible, the Quran, and I mean, this shit is even beyond Madame Blavatsky and all her occultism. You see what I'm saying? So his name was, he didn't name him Abraham, who's supposed to be the father of the Semitic races. He names him Abraham. And then Abraham, you understand, when he goes into Canaan, he bows down to an African priest called Melchizedek, give him tithes, give him 10% of his, he didn't have a war with and killed some people, and he got treasure from that confrontation, and he comes back into Canaan and he gives Melchizedek 10% of his treasure. You see, and he takes communion from Melchizedek with the bread and the wine, and he takes, and so this is long before Aaron. Aaron is with Moses. Abraham lived almost 500 years before Moses. And so right now that throws all that shit in disarray because Melchizedek is from Salem. See, the thing is, what you got to understand, and we're going to work with it now. Let's work with it now. See, there is no Jew. Ain't no, because we dealing with Abraham. See, he the father. So, ain't no Isaac, ain't no goddamn Jacob, ain't no 12 tribes, ain't none of that. So when he comes in, so there's no way for them to try to say, oh, this is it's no Semitic. He's a Hamitic. He's an African. You see? And so that was the need why they said not the Negro. Ham is the father of the darker races, but not the Negro, because you didn't lie so many. And that's really the glory right there. That's really the glory. When you talk about Egypt, when you talk about Ethiopia and Africa, that's the glory. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's a necessity to steal that history from our people, and this is why you hear this shit in the dictionary about, and he's not the father. Because ain't no goddamn Negroes until the goddamn 16th century. And these niggas sit up here and listen to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no goddamn Negroes until no goddamn 16th century. So you can't even make that kind of, no comparison in that sense. Ain't no Negroes that live back in ancient times. And so that's a modern terminology used for our people. You see, and so now we got to get down to why, he's referred to as Abraham. Now, let's blow this on up. Because we here to destroy this shit. Now, if I catch you niggas after this and you're still in there talking about Ham and you still in there talking about Jacob with his old nasty ass, a ruthless motherfucker, sleeping with all type of prostitutes. You understand what I'm saying? That's in the Bible. Yes, it is. You know, and he's supposed to be the patriarch, Judah. Judah and what's the other one? David and Solomon, all of them. You know what I'm saying? If we get in and look at really what they're about, these is the most ungodly, men that I've ever read about in my life. You see what I'm saying? So let's deal with Abraham and what it says. And at the bottom we read the descendants of the original Ham, and it is Psalms 78, 51, 105, 23, 106, 22. In these passages, Ham is used as another name for Egypt as representing Ham's principal descendants. Wait a minute. What did it say? Listen, it says the descendants of the original Ham, Psalm 78, 51, 105, 23, 106, 22. It says in these passages, Ham is used as another name for Egypt. Okay. And so, as representing Ham's principal descendants. So he lived in Egypt. Even though all his sons were considered Hamitics, Ham lived in Egypt. Okay, and so Egypt was called the land of Ham many times in the Bible. Matter of fact, we're going to back it up. We ain't going to play with you. We're going to go straight to the information. Now, this is Psalms 20. Which one is this? Let me bring this one on up. So this Psalm 105, verse 23 at the top. Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. See, this is when you start talking about Bethlehem. You see what I'm saying? They try to fool you. But I'm going to school you. You see what I'm saying? That way you get Bethlehem. See, ain't no vowels in Hebrew or Arabic. So you can add them vowels interchangeably. You see what I'm saying? You can add the E, you can add the A. They're just like Kim. You can get Kemet, you can say Kamit. You see what I'm saying? You can say Cam, you can say Kim. Sometimes people can spell it with the I, Kemet, K-I-M-I-T. There's no wrong way to spell it. You see what I'm saying? Because people don't understand. It's not a translation, it's a transliteration. So it ain't supposed to have no goddamn vowel. Okay, so they say Bethlehem to hide the fact that the Hamitics, and so when you say Ham, you're saying ancient Egypt. You see, so the Egyptians are the principal descendants of Ham, showing that the Africans was in the land of Canaan, which is today Israel, were the principal original inhabitants of the land. Wasn't no goddamn Israelites who are vagabonds, who are foreigners, who are invaders of the land. You see what I'm saying? And we're going to show and prove that Abraham come up out of an African. That's in the story. You understand what I'm saying? So he was never no damn Semitic. You understand what I'm saying? In the sense, talking about the country, the Chaldea, in which this man supposedly come up out of. Okay, which we're going to talk about. Okay, and so we see right here in 26, he said, and he sent Moses his servant and Aaron, whom he had chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. Now let's deal with Ham. Let's go to some biblical dictionaries and encyclopedias and see what it says. Let's see what it say. I like the one down here, right here. Now I don't know which one it is because I didn't took, from out of my lectures, and I can find you the publishing page. It then got separated, but if you read some of my or look at some of my other videos, it'll be easy to find. It say what? Let me blow this up. Let's blow this on up so you can see this. Ham or chair. See, that's where you get champa. Like you get over there at the Naga champa. See, we got to get busy today. So you got the Naga cham or the champa over there with the ankle white. You see what I'm saying? You got cham and you got ankle. You see what I'm saying? And so cham was right next to Angkor. It would have been, Cham would have been in modern day southern Vietnam. You see? And so you see that Cham is also a derivative of Ham, which is also means black. So when you look at this dictionary, it ain't no black man that wrote. This is a Caucasoid. This is a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. It says Ham or Cham, burnt, swarthy, black. Wait a minute, what did he say? Burnt, swarthy, black. Now let me read some of it. It says the youngest son of Noah. They can't prove that. One day when Noah had drank wine, Ham perceived his parent lying in his tent with his person exposed. This is God's man. Knowing that and got drunk and fell out. He got his, everything hanging out all over the place. You understand what I'm saying? So, Ham come in and see him in that state, he ridicules the man. Okay? Noah, when he awoke and was informed of his sin, said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants, a slave of slaves shall he be to his brethren." So they diabolical, because you got to understand that Shem is Canaan's uncle. We looking at this, we got to understand that this is supposedly a family. And so why Noah would enslave his own grandson to one of his other sons because of what Ham is supposedly done to him is beyond me. That don't sound like a man of God. You see what I'm saying? So it says Ham was father of Cush, Mizraim, which is Egypt, Punt, which many people say is Libya, some say is Somalia, and Canaan. Now look, it is believed that he had Africa for his inheritance and that he peopled it, but he dwelt in Egypt. Africa, more precisely, Egypt, is called the land of Ham in several places of the Psalms. Many writers have been of opinion, not of no goddamn opinion, because it's in the damn Bible, which we're going to show, that the posterity of Ham succeeded the design and formed the presumptuous project of building the Tower of Babel. But this is without proofs. See, now he collapsing. He's collapsing because he says, but this is without proof. Well, let's show the goddamn proof. Because this is an old phony Cro-Magnon, and he fleeing from the facts. Let's go on and put this shit in here. Let me see. Let's put it in here. And it says in Genesis 10:6, what does it say? It said, well, you know what? It's not 6. This is 8. 8 and 9. This was on something else. Matter of fact, let me take that on out. Well, that's all right. I'll leave that there. Genesis 10, and it says in verse 8 and 9, and it says, in Cush, Ethiopia begot Nimrod. And this is very substantial and important because this is the area, Ur of Chaldea, where Abraham is supposedly descended from. Okay, and Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. Okay, he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Once it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Let's go down. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. Silly Cro-Magnon. It hurt his heart. He says without proof. This is supposed to be the book of God, and he says it's without proof. And then right here, I went straight to it. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, Erech, Akkad, Calne in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, Assyria, and builded Nineveh and the city of Rehoboth and Kala. Okay? And so we backed it up that Nimrod is the son of Cush. Wait a minute. Let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. Now, when you go to Ethiopia, you see this is out of the Christian dictionary of Christianity, and it says Ethiopia, and you see at the top, right at the top, you see Cush, country of burnt faces. And so again, we showing you that this is the area that is dominated. Not just a lot of fuck black. We got to get into the origin, because you can say black and that don't, it could be anything over there in Asia. So we want to be specific. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't black alone. We got to geographically locate where the origin of these blacks are from. And so we see that Nimrod, who is the founder, wait a minute, of Babylon. Wait a minute. He's the founder of Babylon, Sumer, Assyria. He's the founder of, so he's the founder of southern Mesopotamia, he's also the founder of northern Mesopotamia. So we got to be clear about that. Later on, Assyria will start to have the barbarian Cro-Magnon population, because it's in the north, and that's where, the barbarians descended down from the north, and so Assyria later on would have a heavy Cro-Magnon population. You see, but in the beginning, so when we talking about Nineveh, Babylon, Erech, Sumer, Assyria, all of these were founded by Nimrod. You see what I'm saying? And so even when you go into what they call Arabia, which was Sheba, which is also of the lineage of Ethiopia. You see, also of the lineage of Ethiopia. So when we get back up here and we look at Ethiopia, we see that it is lying to the south. When we say Cush now, we're talking about Cush, lying to the south of Egypt, corresponding to what is now the Sudan. Okay, that's very clear. So a lot of people, we went straight to understand. So when you're talking about the Mesopotamians, they are of the lineage of the Sudanese. Now, see, I bring this up, and I'm gonna continue to bring this up. A lot of people assume the Ethiopia of today is the ancient Ethiopia, and it's not. And it's not. Okay, anybody that knows chronology knows that Aksum was the last of the Great Nile Valley civilizations. And it conquered Nubia, which was Sudan, right up under Egypt, Sudan, even into what today is called Egypt. A large portion of Egypt, the nation of Egypt today, was Nubia. Okay, and then and later on the Egyptians would take control of some of that southern land, from almost Luxor, Waset, on down to Abu Simbel. All of that was earlier Nubian land, and still is Nubian land. You see, still is Nubian land. And so, I have to state that because for a reason, you got this, the modern Ethiopia, they don't speak of, with any, respect or any, respect for the ancestors. They don't even speak. When they speak of the Nile Valley civilizations, the stele, which is obelisk, they say this is the time when we was pagans and heathens. And so they promote the Christianity and they promote this Sabaeanism, which is, in essence, a mixture of, some African and some Arab and this, that, and the third, and they promote the Semitism and shit and this, that, and the third. And so we have to be clear that the Ethiopia in the Bible, in the Ethiopia, the Cush, is dealing with Sudan. So we could, get that shit on out of there, because a lot of them is opening up the back door for their old Arab daddies and to come in and promote this old shit. And a lot of people are, y'all can fly with that. I don't fly with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't get no, once I see a crack, I seal that motherfucker, and I seal that shit with titanium. And if they get mad, tell them to call me up, and we can talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I got all the smoke for anybody that want me. You know what I'm saying? So when you understand it today, and we have to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because when we look at the genealogy of Ham, and we see that, this is one reason why you have to don't throw the whole book away. Don't throw the whole book away, because it's clear in the Bible. It shows that Egypt and Ethiopia are brothers. See, they don't do that in the university system. They try to make the Nubian and the Egyptian two different races. If you go to the so-called white man academia, he gonna try to make them two different races. And so the one thing is, when them Cro-Magnons put that book together, they told the truth. They showed that Canaan, which is earlier, the nation before Israel, the original, according to the Bible. You see what I'm saying? To show that the Africans was in the land before the so-called Israelites or the Semitic. And to show that Egypt, Ethiopia, and Canaan were brothers. They were of the same bloodline and confederation. Okay, that's very clear. You know what I'm saying? And to show that the Ethiopian, the Cush of the Bible, and them rabbis still use it derogatorily. That just like they had about 2-3 years ago, the head rabbi in Israel made a racist remark about Cushi, monkeys and shit, calling the Cushites monkeys and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so he got some heat put under his ass about that. But it don't make no difference, because when his office, and his what they call them, the people that speak for the rabbi, you know what I'm saying? What they call them? Damn. It's just like, when the White House, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? But it's an official spokesman. It's an official spokesman, the rabbi, and to defend the rabbi, they say, well, he was speaking out the Talmud. He didn't just make it, he's speaking out the Talmud. And so that right there should have woke up people right then and there, that this racism that these motherfuckers talking about, you understand what I'm saying, is all throughout their literature. And then as soon as one, like Whoopi Goldberg said some shit, and it's fucked up that her last name is Goldberg. But anyway, when she said something about the Jew, they quick to scream Semitic this, anti-Semitic that, and they got all this goddamn racism in their Talmud, all through their literature, and this, that, and the third. You see what I'm saying? So to understand that the Bible, once you understand and put a lot of them references together, you will come out with the fact that the Hermetics are, I like to use the word Sudanese. You know what I'm saying? So that mean the Egyptian, that mean, and see, when you go to Sudan, see, when you look at, let me get a Sudanese. Let me get a Sudanese. Look at this. See, I like this. This is what I love. You feel me? This is what I love. Cold black. Look at that. Let me drop this brother on in there. Let me get him in here. I'm trying to, hold on, y'all. I wonder why it's not going in for me. Let me see if I can get this one in. I liked that one, though. Okay, that one going in. All right. And so right here, you're looking at a Sudanese. This is sister and her son right there. And so that right there, this is what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So when it say, it says Cush, it says lying to the south of Egypt, corresponding to what is now the Sudan. Now, if that's your brother and that's your sister, you understand what I'm saying? That's your mama. You understand? And you Egypt and you Canaan, and Canaan is the brother of Ethiopia, Cush, and Egypt is and then it already stated that Ham, the father's name, meant burnt, it meant black, but it's also significant that it's corresponding to ancient Egypt. And so I love that, I love that they put that information out, which they should not have put out, because now they got to retract it every time a scholar like General Seti put this information out here on their. And so the thing is, let me make sure did you see it good? Let me blow that all the way up. Okay, Sudanese. Okay, so that's Cush. Okay, that's the brother of Egypt. That's the brother of Canaan. You see what I'm saying? And so now we already went over the fact that Ham, you know what I'm saying? Ham is also meaning burnt, swarthy, black. Did we go over that? Yes, we did. Where did it go? Here you go. We went over that. So that he meant burnt, swarthy, black, but not just that they burned and swarthy. So when we talk about what it say in the Bible, what it say in the Bible about so-called Jesus and also Jacob. Wait a minute, where is that? Here you go. What it say? Out of Egypt, out of Ham, out of Cush, I have called my son. You see what I'm saying? And so if Jesus and Jacob and they spent over 400 years in a land of African people that look like this, we already know what it is. We ain't got to play no games. We ain't got to play no games. But significantly, when you talk about Abraham, there's something occult there, because it's talking about the science, the deity, the religion itself is coming out of ancient Egypt. Okay, ain't no, Abraham is a Serapis. He's a created creature. They done stole religion that they don't have no true original individuals that they could give credit to. So they create a fictional, just like they created the majority, if not all, of the philosophers of Greece. You understand? You can't find a tomb. You can't find an original scroll. You can't find any authors from the time in which he lived that even wrote about him, because at that time they didn't have no language. There was not a civilized people. You see what I'm saying? So Abraham is a Serapis. But what else do we see? We see Mohammed. You understand? We see Mohammed. You see Ham and Mohammed. Not only Abraham, and then Hammurabi. Hammurabi. You see what I'm saying? Who brought the laws. You see what I'm saying? But he wasn't the only one. He wasn't the only one. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Hamilcar. You see what I'm saying? Hamilcar, which is the father of Hannibal. You see what I'm saying? Of Hannibal. And even when you break down Hannibal, and you go look up Baal, you're going to see many depiction of Baal look like a pharaoh with the crown of Upper Egypt on his head. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to why would you go to the remix when you can go to the pure African spirituality? And so this is what I'm saying, and you should be able to go, and once you understand your history and understand the power of the spirituality, you can go in all them religions and show where they done stole straight up out of Egypt. And once you can explain that and show that to the people, then you go back to the pure, you go back to the spirituality of your ancestors. Too many times, we not out here, promoting the purity of African spirituality and religion, and because within it is the ingredients for our redemption and our uprise. You see what I'm saying? And and that's why, most niggas out here, they ain't gonna, spit this knowledge. They're gonna be about incense and prayer rugs and house shoes and silk house shoes and all type of, and the motherfucker got mascara on their face and shit and all like, no, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We coming with the purity, the African revolutionary spirituality that could bring us up out of slavery, up out of mental and spiritual slavery to the state of redemption. Wait a minute. Let me so when you talk about Chaldea, see, you're talking about down, in southern Iraq, you see, southern Iraq, and you got to understand all of that is Northeast Africa. You see, you didn't start getting Cro-Magnon Neanderthals down in that area until the coming of Alexander. You understand what I'm saying? That was pure African over there until the coming of Alexander, who brought them vagabonds up in there. And that's why when you go off into Islam, and I dare anybody to say anything to the otherwise, they say Alexander is a prophet. They call Alexander a prophet in the damn Quran. You understand what I'm saying? And they say that the Greeks and the Romans in the Hadith, the Greeks and the Romans are children of Abraham. You better look it up. You better look it up. You understand what I'm saying? So that right there show you how they venerate, these crazy ass people. You see, and so, and we also went through, we went into Bethlehem. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you go over there to in Iran, because you're talking about Chaldea, to back it up, this is at the I believe it's called the Archaeological Museum of Susa. This is in Iran, and so this is a depiction of the indigenous people of Elam, which would have been southern Sumeria, Chaldea, and you see a woolly-headed black people, okay? A woolly-headed black people, is no doubt about it, you see? And so not only that, to back it up, and because I'm about to get over here to the next video. Which one am I doing next? I don't know. It's another powerful one though. Whichever one it is. If you look up Memnon, if you look up the great warrior Memnon that went to Troy and fought Achilles, you see what I'm saying? Memnon was the king of Ethiopia, and he was accredited for founding Susa, this very city in Iran, where you see this depiction of the people. You see, and so even in the Greek, even though there's some bullshit, but we're gonna take those things that they speak and say, why would they say this? You know what I'm saying? Why would they be in agreement with this? You see, so Memnon was the founder of Elam. He was the founder of Susa. And even in Greco mythology, Ethiopia and Egypt were also brothers. So not only in the Hebrew persuasion, in the Greco-Roman persuasion, Egypt and Ethiopia was brothers. And so that's what it gets down to, and I have to come back with the Melchizedek. You see what I'm saying? Which, when you deal with the root, the Greco root in there, Mala. You understand what I'm saying? Which you get melanin. You see what I'm saying? You see the Canaanites, once we explained that the Canaanites were the brother of the Sudanese, Egyptians, the blacks that come up out of southern Africa, you see that the Melchizedek is another Serapis in the sense that he's a created creature to explain the true origin of where they got that goddamn the knowledge from that's in the Bible that's worth something. Now, the stories that they created to wrap around the knowledge, you see what I'm saying, to give them some type of authorship to it, those are created creatures. You can write that shit off. You see what I'm saying? But in it, they left the key because they're not going to fool themselves, because they're going to keep going to the fountain of wisdom. They're going to keep going to the fountain of wisdom. So they ain't that damn stupid. They left the record so that they would know, not you, that they would know the source of which they have to return to keep getting the ancient wisdom. It's not no Abraham. It's not no Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a Serapis, a created creature to prove that the source of all the knowledge that's in that book that's worthy to be called knowledge came up out the Nile Valley, came up out of Egypt, came up out of Sudan. That's where it came from. So I want to thank y'all for being here today. I'm going to back it up because I'm coming black again. Y'all better have y'all ass in there on the 19th. The 3 wicked sons of Abraham. I'm going to go in all their mouth. The link is right now. I'm going in all their mouth. The Jew, the Serapis worshipers, the Christians, and the goddamn Arab goat herders. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going there and we're going to be frying goat skins on that night. You see what I'm saying? So we got Muhammad up, we got Jesus up, and we got Abraham and Moses. We got all their ass on the hit list, and the general is the one that's going to take them out. So family, thank y'all for being in the house. Make sure you check me out, kingseti.com, generalseti.com, my Patreon, General Sara Seti, and get that smoke. You need it. You need it. All right, family. Black Pop.